Bombshell Gooners! Julián Alvarez has reportedly been absolutely furious after finding out what Atlético Madrid have just agreed to. Meanwhile, The Independent has just dropped a bombshell involving Kenan Yildiz and Gabriel Martinelli. And finally, Borussia Dortmund have revealed that they want to sign Arsenal youngster Ethan Nwaneri. But could they actually pull it off? Stay tuned for all the latest Arsenal news, Gooners, because these three stories are directly connected, and the picture they paint for the final stages of Arsenal's transfer window is absolutely fascinating. Subscribe now, turn on notifications, and let's get straight into it. Right, Gooners, I want to be completely honest with you about this one from the very start, because this story is as uncomfortable as it is dramatic. And the honest take is genuinely important here. According to Mendoza Post in Spain, Atlético Madrid have made a U-turn and agreed to sell Julian Alvarez to Arsenal. And when the Argentine heard that news, he reportedly exploded with anger. Not cautiously disappointed, not privately frustrated, exploded with anger. The reasons are clear, and Mendoza Post explained both of them. First, Alvarez does not want to return to England and play in the Premier League again. Despite having won the World Cup and starred at the highest level in his career since leaving Manchester City, his preference has always been to stay in Spain and specifically to join Barcelona. Second, and this is the detail that reveals the real complexity here, Alvarez genuinely believes Atlético Madrid are blocking his Barcelona move purely out of spite. He sees Diego Simeone's refusal to sell to the Camp Nou not as legitimate business judgment, but as a personal decision designed to deny him his dream. Now let me be straight with you about what this means for Arsenal, and because I think some fans will immediately say sign him anyway, and deal with the motivation issues later. And I understand that impulse. Alvarez is an extraordinary footballer. The stats are devastating. The potential impact on Arsenal's attack is genuinely transformative. We have spent all summer explaining exactly why he is the right profile for what Arteta needs. But here is the reality. The history of forcing a player into a club he does not want to join at £112 million is not a history of success. It is a history of expensive disappointment, dressing room disruption, and players who are physically present but mentally elsewhere. Arteta has built the entire culture at Arsenal on genuine desire. Players who want to be there, who buy into the project, who give everything because they are committed to this specific journey. Alvarez exploding with anger at the news of an Arsenal move tells you everything about his current emotional state. The only way this changes is if Barcelona definitively close their door and Alvarez genuinely recalibrates his thinking toward a Premier League future. That might happen. The window is in its final days. Circumstances can shift dramatically when options disappear. But Arsenal should not be paying £112 million for a player whose immediate reaction to joining them was described as exploding with anger. Wait for a genuine signal of desire before making the final move. Berta, be patient one more time. So, Gooners, would you still sign Alvarez at £112 million, even knowing he does not want to come to Arsenal? Or do you agree that a signing of this magnitude requires genuine player desire above everything else? Drop every honest thought in the comments right now. This is the debate of the week. Right, Gooners, Miguel Delaney of The Independent has just dropped one of the most creative and genuinely intriguing transfer stories of the entire summer window. And I want to work through this one carefully with you because on first read it sounds wild, but the more you think about it, the more it actually makes sense. Arsenal are looking into whether a deal for Juventus winger Kenan Yildiz is possible before the deadline. And crucially, one solution being explored involves Gabriel Martinelli potentially going the other way in a swap arrangement. Let me walk you through why this works from every angle simultaneously. Start with Martinelli. Arsenal are actively trying to sell him. The Galatasaray bid of €45 million was rejected by the player himself. He has no interest in moving to Turkey. But Juventus, that is a completely different conversation. A historic club, Champions League football, and most importantly, if Yildiz leaves, Martinelli becomes the undisputed starting left winger at one of the most iconic clubs in European football. For a player of his ambition and quality, that is an attractive proposition that Turkey simply cannot match. Now look at Yildiz. We have been talking about this player all summer. Arteta's admiration for him is well documented. The Juventus CEO even confirmed it publicly back in June when he said Arsenal manager Arteta wants him. At 21 years old, technically gifted, proven at Serie A level, capable of playing as a left winger, a 10, or even as a striker, he brings exactly the kind of creative, direct left-wing quality that Arsenal have been desperately pursuing ever since missing Vinicius and Rodgers. The financial structure is where the genius lies. Juventus want upwards of 60 million for Yildiz. Arsenal value Martinelli at around 50 million. A player plus cash arrangement, Martinelli plus 15 to 20 million, gets both clubs to their respective valuations without Arsenal needing to find 60 million in fresh transfer spending in the final days of the window. It is creative, it is clever, and it potentially solves the left-wing problem that has been the most stubborn challenge of the entire summer. The obstacles are real. Juventus consider Yildiz their brightest talent, and their fan base would react strongly to a sale. There is a long way to go in any negotiations, and Martinelli's willingness to make this specific move is critical. But if Martinelli is open to Juventus, if the club can be convinced by a Premier League champion as part of the package, and if Yildiz's own desire aligns, this could be the most elegant solution to Arsenal's left-wing problem that nobody saw coming until The Independent dropped this story today. So Gooners, does the Martinelli for Yildiz swap idea excite you? Or do you think Arsenal should have pushed harder to sell Martinelli for cash and use that money elsewhere? Drop everything in the comments right now. Right, Gooners. Ethan Nwaneri's loan situation is now becoming very concrete very quickly, and according to Team Talk, Borussia Dortmund have done significant work on the 19-year-old and placed him high on their list of winger targets before the window closes. Leipzig are also monitoring the situation, but Dortmund appear to be the club most seriously exploring a move. And as a potential loan destination for a player of Nwaneri's specific profile and needs, this is genuinely one of the most exciting possible outcomes for him this summer. Think about what Dortmund offer. A club with a legendary track record of developing young attacking talent into world-class performers. Sancho, Haaland, Bellingham, Reina all had important chapters of their development at Signal Iduna Park. The Bundesliga is technical enough to suit Nwaneri's game, but physical enough to prepare him properly for the demands of the Premier League when he returns. And Dortmund need wide attacking options, which means Nwaneri would not be going there to sit on the bench. He would be going there to play, regularly in the Bundesliga and potentially in European competition. But here is the critical detail that could make or break this entire deal, and Arsenal's position on it is completely non-negotiable. The Gunners are prepared to sanction a loan move but are insisting any deal remains strictly temporary with absolutely no option to buy included. That condition is the thing Dortmund need to accept before anything progresses, and you can completely understand why Arsenal are holding that line. Nwaneri is 19. He is one of their own. He came through Hale End. Arteta has said he looks like a different man since returning from the Marseille experience. Pre-season has shown glimpses of exactly what he can become. Letting him go permanently now, or even including a purchase option that could be triggered, would be closing the door prematurely on a player who could be genuinely important to Arsenal's future. If Dortmund accept a pure loan with no buy option, this is potentially a wonderful outcome for everyone. Nwaneri gets genuine development football at a top European club. Arsenal keep full control of his future. Dortmund get an exciting talent to strengthen their attack. The decisive factor is whether the German club can operate within those conditions. The window closes soon. This one needs to move fast. So Gooners, would you be happy with Nwaneri going to Dortmund on a strict loan with no buy option? And do you think the Bundesliga is the perfect environment for him to develop right now? Drop your take in the comments. Alright Gooners, smash that subscribe button right now if you haven't already. Final days of the window, Alvarez drama, Yildiz swap emerging, Nwaneri Dortmund loan close. This is the most dramatic finale to any Arsenal transfer window in years, and you absolutely cannot miss a single update. Hit that button immediately, completely free. Until next time, Gooners, come on you Gunners!